Devin Duvernay is a sleeper in my eyes. He is a depth piece at wide receiver that, doesn't do a lot, but I mean, does enough, does enough for a fifth wide receiver. And in my eyes is going to be $1 million, is 27 years old, I believe, maybe 28 years old. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler as a kick returner. And I get it, least exciting move that the Pittsburgh Steelers could make, but we made a big deal about Cordero Patterson last year, and that did not turn out well. I think Devin Duvernay, in my eyes, becomes an immediate name to watch for Pittsburgh because they need a kick returner. They're not going to put Jaylen Warren back there as their starting running back and their starting kick returner. That doesn't make any sense. That's asking for injury. And I don't believe they're going to hold on to Cordero Patterson. If they do, I'm wrong, and it's going to be real awkward in the locker room. But if I'm right on this, and if everybody else is right on this, the Steelers get an upgrade in a guy who's young, super explosive, is good at that. Doesn't need to be anything more. And he's not somebody that comes in here as, again, anything more than a kick returner. Hey, come be that guy. It's been a while since the Steelers have had a kick returner. They tried to do it with Cordero Patterson, didn't work. But when they had Steven Sims, when they had Ray McLeod, there was some success there. And I think you could do the same with Devin Duvernay. I think you go sign him for $2 million. And you say, all right, here you go. There's your contract. Have a good time. We got excess money, There you go, dude. And bring him in as the fifth. Brings up questions for Ben Skoranek, which I'm very nervous about. Very nervous about. But at the same time, the Steelers have kept 6 wide receivers in the past with a much more chaotic group. You got to remember the year of Juju, Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, Ray McLeod. There were 2 more on that roster that I will not remember. I think Steven Sims might have been on that roster, but I could be totally wrong there. Mm-hmm. And one other. There's you got to even remember the year of Gunnar Olszewski's, being the 6th wide receiver. They've done this before. I think they could do it again. I think Devin Duvernay is an interesting name. I'm not pounding the table for him. Yeah. But of all the early guys, I mean, this is a sleeper in my eyes.
Yeah, it's not a sexy name, and it's certainly not a sexy position to be filling at this point in the offseason, especially when you still, for the past over a year, almost 2 years now, have needed a number 2 wide receiver. Since the Deontay Johnson trade, they have yet to fill that hole in their lineup. But you do need a better kick returner. We saw last year with the invention of the entirely new kickoff rules, other teams were able to flourish. They were able to
31 other teams.
31 other teams. The one that didn't was the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, they did get a special teams touchdown, but that was from Calvin Austin on punt return. And that's what I'm wondering, because with this new kickoff formation, I feel like it's less likely that Calvin Austin's going to get his head blown off like he would if it was the old school one where they're coming from 50 yards down and people just have no hope. If he's good to do punt returns, I don't see why he wouldn't be good to do kick returns. I agree with you that you can't have Jaylen Warren there if he's going to be wouldn't say bell cow. He's going to be the 1A and there's going to be a 1B brought in. But I don't see them wanting him to be in that position as the primary. I think I would go with Calvin Austin. I would keep Ben Skoranek. But if you're going to keep 6, yeah, it does make some sense to go after somebody that can be a kick returner. My worry, again, this is just my own anxiety, I guess, from what we've seen the last 2 years, is Devin Duvernay comes in and we all believe that, hey, he's just a kick returner. He's a kick returner. We can put that to the side. I'm sure he'll have a nice soundbite at Latrobe, and he's a kick returner. That's what he is. And then we're all sitting there saying, man, this is Allen Robinson, Van Jefferson, Cordero Patterson 4.0. They're using him way too much. They brought him in, and that's fine, but they're utilizing him way too much. That's my one kind of PTSD moment, bringing in a kick returner as what should be a sole kick returner.
I agree. I definitely I agree. I think with Calvin Austin, you could line him up back there, but you need 2 for starters. I also think that Calvin Austin's best career move is to not do kick returns, because there's a very short list of true wide receivers who make it in the league as wide receivers and also make it in the league as kick returners. Most guys don't do both. You're either a really good kick returner or a return specialist, or you're a really good wide receiver. And I think Calvin Austin's got really good wide receiver ability. I think Calvin's a guy that by the end of the season is a true wide receiver 3 for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and like a wide receiver 3 in a wide receiver group where the twos are just like he's a Tyler Boyd, where it's like, yeah, wide receiver 3, I guess. He's a starter. And I think Calvin's got that. That's my only pullback on Calvin because my brain went the same way. It's like Calvin's the guy. He's the easy option there. But most of those guys don't turn out to be that, or they do the punt return, but they don't do the kick return because it's less wear and tear on their bodies or however you want to look at it. At the same time, you need two. I'm not pounding the table for Devin Duvernay. Of all the names right now that are available, he's the one that I'm going, if the Steelers are going to sign somebody before Monday, that's a name.
Check the box.
Yeah, like that's all it is. Just check a box for $2 million, nothing guaranteed. Come on, see if you want a job. Here's a job. We have an opening and sounds good. Pay him less than Cordell Patterson. Opens up your running back room, and I still think allows you to sign Ben Skoranek because I just don't know how you get rid of Ben Skoranek. Although it's Friday and they have not signed anybody to a deal, so we don't know what's going to come.